Hi, Leo. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for August of 2021. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kell-Miller, and I'm in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas in San Francisco.
And it's your birthday month, right? And your birthday may have passed already, so you're due, possibly overdue, for your yearly birthday solar return reading. Your solar return has everything you need to know about the year to come and what your greater self's plan is for you this year. It's a really great tool for navigating the year successfully. If you want to get a reading all about it, you'll find a link for that in the YouTube description below. Well, Juno has been retrograde for several months. It's right here in Sagittarius in your fifth house of love affairs, which would be appropriate because Juno is a relationship planet and it's triggering a relationship retrospection for all of us pretty much. And in your case, you might feel that this has been driving you to look up some old people from way back that that you may have dated briefly. And if that's the case, I wonder how that worked out for you, because Juno retrograde is not usually a good time to sort of take up the thread of those relationships and hope to continue where they left off. But it is a really good time to approach those old relationships with a view to healthy and warm closure. And sometimes, as a result of the healthy and warm closure, something new can be born from that, which can be really sweet. But expecting it to be just like it used to be doesn't always meet with success. So, but fortunately, Juno retrograde is almost over. It finishes on August 2nd, and Juno will continue to move slowly for the rest of the month, even though it is moving direct. And so getting things sorted out and figuring out how your relationships will move forward is what we'll be doing for the rest of the month this August. Hey, Julia, I think you've got some news about Mercury, Venus, and Mars.
Yeah, well, hey, Leo, a lot of emphasis on your money, possessions, and values this month. I'll start with Mercury. That's the planet of communication and mentation. And Mercury begins the month in your first house of self, which means that you'll be very articulate, very well, in a good place to sort of express yourself well. This would be a great time if you need to do any public speaking. Then by August 11th, Mercury moves into your second house, and that is the house of your possessions, the things that you own, as well as your income. So with Mercury in this house, Mercury has a lot to do with also sometimes buying and selling as well. So you could be thinking about selling some of your old possessions, things you don't need anymore, perhaps buying new ones. You could be spending some time also strategizing and thinking about your personal income, how to kind of expand your business or ask for a promotion, for example. Then Venus, the planet of art, beauty, and relationship, she begins the month in your second house of possessions and money. So she's going to be adding a little bit of luck, a little bit of grace to your finances. It's a wonderful time if you need to negotiate with anybody over money or things. And this is also a lovely transit if you would like to. It's a good time to go shopping too, especially for Venus-related things like beauty items, luxury items, art, creative things of that nature. Then by August 15th, Venus moves into your third house of communication, siblings, and neighborhood. So Venus is going to be bringing a little bit of pleasure, a little bit of luck in your ability to kind of communicate well with other people. It's a wonderful time for being diplomatic as well. And if you do have any siblings, then you guys should be getting along really, really well during that cycle. Then Mars, the planet of action, activity, it's also got kind of a feisty edge to it too, is going to be in your second house. Again, that's the house of possessions, money, and income all month. So with Mars here, you could be feeling very, very driven to be getting more things in your life. You might be a little bit on the impulsive side too when you're shopping. And Mars in the second house might mean that you get into some sort of flare-ups with other people about money and stuff. Second house can have things to do with our values as well. So that could be another area of life where you really feel like you need to sort of stand up for yourself.
There are a couple of moons that I want to tell you about. The first of these is around the 8th. It's a new moon in Leo, which falls again in your first house. And the new moon is generally a time of new beginnings. These seeds are planted directly in your very own self and your very own actions. So there's a quality of rebirth to this moon. We're calling it pride springing from wholeness, not ego. And that's because of the lovely connection to Chiron, the wounded healer, that is engaged in a 7-year healing journey of healing our assertiveness so that we can feel our anger but not let it rule us. And so the wonderful energy of that Chiron is flooding this moon and helping us to rediscover our center. However, Uranus is involved too by a square, and that's a bit stressful. And so avoiding, egotistic need to stick out from the crowd and instead embracing the gentleness of this Chiron. And you can find out a lot more about that moon in our August 2021 news playlist, which I recommend that you do since this is your birthday month and this is the new moon of your birthday month. The next thing that goes on this month is where Uranus is going to make a pivot. Uranus is traveling through Taurus. That's also a 7-year journey. Uranus brings radical shifts, changes in the very concept of a thing that you have. And if you're having a Uranus transit this year, you might feel like things are a little bit disrupted, like you're facing the unexpected. You might even feel like there's a lot of nervous energy in your body. So Uranus is going to pivot. It's going to station and turn retrograde right here on the 19th or 20th, depending on your time zone. And Uranus has been traveling through your 10th house, which is the domain of career. And so it wouldn't be surprising at all if the unexpected has been happening and you've been looking to make a radical change in your career or on your long-term career path. And if so, then this date, I think, is one to watch in terms of potentially, going into an inward turned phase about it, a phase of self-examination about it, which should last for the next several months. If you want to find out more about Uranus transits and how they feel and how to handle them, we've made a video for you about that, and it's in the August 2021 news playlist. The next thing I want to tell you about is that there is going to be a full moon in the very, very end of Aquarius. That's happening right here on the 21st and 22nd, again, depending on your time zone. The sun is in Leo here, the moon in Aquarius with Jupiter. And we're calling this hot summer night party moon because Jupiter brings such a sense of fun. There is no party animal like Jupiter. Jupiter is retrograde though, so a bit of a caution is to just make sure that you're not one of the people who's behaving badly at the party and is just a little bit too unrestrained in your party behavior. But a wonderful thing to do would be on this night of the full moon to go out and take a look into the sky, raise a glass to the beautiful moon with Jupiter twinkling right next to it. And the last thing I want to tell you about is the seasonal shift that happens the next day on the 22nd as the sun moves into Virgo, beginning the season of the first harvest of the grains and the fruits. This is the season of the separating of the wheat from the chaff, which is what Virgo excels at. And it brings a spotlight to house 2 in your chart, which is what Julia was mentioning when she said that, a lot of emphasis on this area of finances. It's so funny, Leo, but you can appear very ostentatious and very stylish. However, I think what most people don't understand about Leo is that there's this frugal streak. Like if you could spend somebody else's money instead of your own for all of those, trinkets and so forth that you love, that would be awesome. Because this Virgo, filled second house doesn't really like to spend money, would really rather save it and feel the security that comes from that. So lots of emphasis on second house matters and the frugality and the saving and the, keeping it organized financially this month. And that's the good stuff we have for you, Leo. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please be sure to share it widely. Subscribe to our channel. Find your way over to our website, pandoraastrology.com, where you can find videos like this on our monthly forecast page, where you can get readings or even take a class. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.